Welcome back, everyone. Are you guys excited for the food announcements here at Epic Universe? This is our first announcement that we've had in a long time from Epic Universe since all the portals and kind of the rides and everything like that have released. We finally have some menu items, and I think this is super exciting. And we are exactly 100 days out from the opening. By the time this video releases, we'll be 99, so we'll be within 2 digits here at this point. We will no longer have 3-digit numbers here, so this is going to be pretty exciting. Today I just want to talk a little bit about the foods, some of the stuff that I'm excited for, what I think some people kind of overlooked when they ultimately made this announcement. But yeah, either way, let's just like dig into the menus right now. And I'm going to guess it's not everything, by the way. I do think we'll still be getting a few extra things to come in the future, but I think right now this is a good start, and we're starting to see kind of the cuisine that each of these lands is going to be offering. Now, before we get too deep into the menus and the video in general, please give this video a thumbs up. It seriously helps me out a ton, and it just kind of lets YouTube know that people are enjoying this type of content. And anybody that wants to see more Epic Universe content or just Universal content in general, it's going to help get this video in front of them and get them all amped and hyped up as well. So either way, let's continue on. Now, if you guys are interested in checking out some of the food items, I highly recommend going to their website. I'll link it in the description below, and you guys can just see everything that we're talking about here today. So nothing's hidden. This isn't information that any of us vloggers or anything have. I mean, this is public info. They've released it, so you guys can check it out for yourself. But either way, I do want to kind of break it down by section. So if we look at the Harry Potter area, so we're looking at Ministry of Magic, we are seeing a few fun items here. And we have the baguette de Dinde, I would believe. We've got the alchemist's platter. Kind of reminds me of some of the options that are already offered over at both Diagon Alley and Hogsmeade, between kind of their like big platter meals. We also have the butterbeer crepe, which I'm going to guess is going to be fantastic based on the fact that a lot of people that like the crepes at the parks love the crepes. And I mean, butterbeer crepe, what isn't there to like about that? That's definitely going to be something to add. You know, there's already a lot of butterbeer offerings at the park, so I think offering a butterbeer crepe is something that's going to be great. And then we kind of round it out with the lentil soup and the quiche that are then offered. So definitely giving you a little bit more of a unique cuisine, maybe again somewhere over in Paris or somewhere overseas a little bit, not necessarily here, but obviously they're keeping it on theme. So I kind of like that. A few decent options in here. I don't know if I would say it's particularly my favorite or the most that I'm looking forward to, but it is definitely unique, and it's cool to see that they definitely are branching out from just the other options that are already inside of both Islands and Universal, and now they're kind of adapting a little bit, and then also again keeping that feast style. So all 3 parks have their own little feast that you could do, and then ultimately this is the one that you're getting here. So I like to see that, definitely changing it up. But yeah, that would be the Ministry of Magic. That's the first one, first world of food that we have. Now let's head over to Super Nintendo World. And the big thing with this is we kind of already know what's coming because we have other parks that have this IP and have the Toadstool Cafe there. But we'll start off with the Mario Burger. I love that little cap that they have on there and the mustache. I think that's hilarious. It would be really cool to kind of see what they ultimately adapt, you know, between different versions of it, maybe in the future or whatnot. But it is fun to still see that they're using that Mario IP for the Mario Burger. And then obviously you have the Luigi Burger, same concept. So Mario, Luigi get their versions of their own burgers. And then you have the Bowser's Fireball Challenge. Again, now I think all 3 of these I did see at the other parks from when I watched, again, other videos from other creators. I thought I saw them eating each of these, I'm pretty sure. So I don't think this is necessarily unique to Universal Orlando's Epic Universe area. So just kind of keep that in mind. Again, I just wanted to let you guys know these might already be out there. You could probably already find food reviews on them. And just briefly, when it does come to the Luigi Burger, I believe it's chicken. So it's not necessarily a burger as much as it is chicken, but they do call it the Luigi Burger nonetheless. So either way, not a whole lot of items there that you can see at the Mario area or, you know, Super Nintendo World in general. Again, I do think there's going to be quite a bit more, and I'm hoping that we do get a few unique items that come to the park. But again, we don't know. But just as of now, that is what we can see. With Isle of Berk, this is something that's kind of unique to me because I'm like, what are they gonna do? Is it gonna be all feast style, grand hall style? I wasn't really sure. So once we started to see some of these menu items, we started to understand what they were ultimately doing with the menu. And yeah, let's take a look at it here now. So first up, we have the Thawfest platter. And this is going to have things like chicken drumsticks, glazed in a barbecue, grilled salmon, sausage. So definitely giving me like the vibe similar to the feast that we're getting over at Ministry of Magic, where you're getting kind of a little hodgepodge of all of these meats, a few veggies and things like that. So I like the idea of having a feast, obviously coming from How to Train Your Dragon. It just kind of makes sense. So I like that they're staying on theme there. Really interested to see how they kind of compare between the feast options between obviously Harry Potter's and then obviously Isle of Berk. Now, you guys know I am looking very heavily to Isle of Berk. I think it is going to be one of the sleeper worlds that are available. So many people want to go right to Dark Universe. A lot of people want to go over to Super Nintendo. And I just think that overall Isle of Berk might get kind of, pushed under and people are going to, overlook it early on. And I think it could be like arguably the best land. I mean, I don't know. I'm just kind of spitballing stuff out. Obviously, I think Dark Universe being one of a kind is going to be so unique. Nobody has really done this kind of haunted and kind of like horror area inside of their parks, not at least to this level from what we're seeing. So I think it's still going to probably be the most unique, but don't sleep on Isle of Berk. I'm telling you, don't sleep on it. Back to the menu though. Now we do have the Sullen Sea sandwich. So again, getting some of that sea life, a little Nordic, if you will, kind of Viking-esque out at sea, things like that. So kind of makes sense that you might see something like that. Sea and sea and sea, so much sea. But again, another salmon sandwich here. So 2 options of salmon so far. And then they have a Nordic harvest salad, and seems like it's going to be pretty typical from what it does look like here. You have some of your greens, some blueberries, apples, tangy flavors, if you will. So a little bit different, but a Nordic salad nonetheless. I think this is the first salad that we see so far on the menu. So into our third world, and we are finally finding a salad for you guys. Again, there's not saying that it's not going to be at some of the other worlds at all. It's just from what we see on the menu. This is the first time we're finally seeing it here. We do end with something that I am really looking forward to, and that is the Stormfly's catch of the day. The young Vikings will love this fun dessert featuring a chocolate mousse fish nestled atop a bed of colorful, crispy rice cereal, creating a delightful combination of creamy and crunchy sweetness. I don't really know. It's like a Rice Krispie with mousse with a fish thing. Again, I'm hoping it doesn't taste like fish. I don't think that's the idea here, but it looks like a fun little treat and it looks completely unique. So for that, I do have to rate it pretty highly. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun to eat that one. I think it's gonna look great. And yeah, really looking forward to some of these Isle of Berk options. Let's go ahead and dig into Dark Universe. Now, I know many of you are looking forward to Dark Universe. A lot of people are, I am as well. But let's see what the menu ultimately looks like and see what we're gonna be getting over here. First up, bird on a steak. I mean, it's like a steak, not like steak, but like steak, if that makes sense. And it does say that we're getting 3 different types of proteins. So I don't know if you pick a protein or if it's like a shish kebab where they're gonna have different versions of proteins on there. I don't really know. I am kind of interested to see what comes along with it, but I will say the items here at Dark Universe are definitely the most unique looking out of all of the worlds that I have seen. They definitely are hitting that HHN feel to the kind of weird, creepy looking food. So I am, again, really looking forward to the food here just because of the aesthetics of it, the visuals. I think that's such a big part of food, the presentation. So I am hoping that they kind of keep that going and that it holds up that value throughout the years, that they're not just getting lazy with it 3, 4, 5 years down the road, that every time you order these dishes they look kind of weird and almost a little creepy. Speaking of creepy, we got these wings in like a black sauce that just looks almost like bloody or just like almost like tar. Kind of unique. Again, I don't really know what's going on here, but it looks weird, bizarre. I'm feeling it, I'm liking it. Hopefully, again, the flavor delivers. That's a big thing too. I am noticing a trend. It does seem like you can get chicken at a lot of these places, and it looks like they got just kind of a good amount of proteins in each of the lands. So I always like to see that, get some good protein going in there with these dishes. So really excited to see that. Also looks like maybe you're getting a pizza skull there with it. It's not a pizza skull, it's a cornbread skull now that I'm looking at it here. So yeah, it's pretty cool. By the way, yes, I'm looking on my phone just because, again, there's a lot, and I'm just like looking at them again here, and it's just, I don't know, I've already looked at them a number of times. I've kind of picked out a few that I'm interested in. Obviously, I want to, wait and see what the full menus look like. But from what I'm seeing so far, there are a few things that I'm like, ooh, I really want to be trying those sooner than later. I don't know what my first item will be at Epic Universe. I'm sure the lines are going to be crazy. I'm sure there's going to be content creators covering just the food on like the first day or two. We'll eventually get to the food, but obviously it's going to be pretty packed. Now we come up to the blood orange chicken sandwich, and if you guys know, we loved the peanut butter burger from 2 or 3 Halloween Horror Nights ago at this point, and it was great. It had like peanut butter on it, but it had that black bun, and this isn't the first time that we've seen the black bun done. We've seen it a number of times in the past, but I like it. I think it's fun. I think it's kind of an easy, unique way to kind of change something up, even if it is kind of the same thing. You can kind of add a little twist by just making it visually look a little different, which is kind of what I was saying earlier. Such a big portion of eating does come down to the visuals of kind of what you're seeing, and then the smells, and then the taste, so it's a full thing here, But then for our vegan lovers, we do have a vegan option to kind of round out everything over here. So it does look like we've got a few different options everywhere. It does seem like most areas have kind of vegan or vegetarian options, along with higher protein options and kind of something in between. I am still interested to see what the snacks might look like around the park, but as of now, that's kind of what we're seeing over at Dark Universe. Also, one last thing I do want to point out with Dark Universe in particular, the other menus that we've been looking at so far, they mentioned like one place. So like Toadstool Cafe for Nintendo, Mead's Hall for How to Train Your Dragon, and then over in the Wizarding World, it was like the Wizarding Paris Place Cache, I think is how this is pronounced. So they gave you like one location that you can get some of these food items from. But if you actually look at Dark Universe, they tell you Das Steakhouse, the Burning Blade Tavern, and DeLacy's Cottage. So that is something I guess I want to keep in mind when you're looking at the menu. These could be, I guess, a little bit more scattered, where the other ones I'm assuming are all at that location. So, Mead's Hall, I'm assuming has all of those options. You go over to the Toadstool Cafe, they have all of those options. Where here in Dark Universe, I don't know exactly where you're getting all of this food. I'm going to assume, again, it's spread out between some of these locations. So this is the first time that we're seeing, 3 different locations showing some food options versus the one to the other ones. Now we have 2 more places that we're gonna be exploring, but one more inside of the park. And that is going to be Celestial Park. Again, kind of the big main hub here that all these worlds are going to branch off from. But let's take a look at the menu. I think they kind of had the most so far as like items that you could scroll through. Again, definitely check the comments below. I'll have it tagged for you guys. Check out the menu, take a look, see what you guys are feeling, see where you're gonna ultimately wanna go, find some of your first food items when you do show up to Epic. But yeah, let's dig into these because there's a lot here. Now, first up, we have a sea bass, and I like me some good seafood, and I just started to have bass and a few other kind of like catfish, things like that. And I've definitely started to like them a lot more than I thought I would. So I think this is definitely gonna be something, if the flavors are right, it's gonna be a really good option, I'm hoping. Again, so a sea bass kind of starts us off here in Celestial Park. So you might be thinking, maybe we're thinking of fish food. Well, what if we go to the next dish and it's a ramen dish? Right? A little different. Now we're getting a little crazy here. So going from sea bass to ramen, again, kind of a unique cuisine. I guess if you think about like an Asian cuisine, they do a little bit of both of those, a little bit of ramen, a little bit of seafood. So that might be kind of the direction that we are heading. And if you see the name of the restaurant right here, it is the Blue Dragon Pan-Asian restaurant. So kind of makes sense if you guys can see where this direction is heading here. But they also do mention here the Oak and Star Tavern. So that is the second location that we're seeing here. And then I think potentially it says Atlantic. So I think there might be 3 restaurants we're looking at here inside of Celestial Park, because again, we're seeing the sea bass at Atlantic, we're seeing the ramen at the Blue Dragon Pan-Asian restaurant, and then we're seeing a hearty breakfast items over at the Oak and Star Tavern. So I think this one also is showing us 3 different locations that we're gonna be able to get some food items here inside of Celestial Park. Again, so we saw that at Dark Universe, now we're seeing it here over at Celestial Park. Now we've just got a platter with mango bread and pickles. I don't really know. It's just a platter. That's all it says. And it's a barbecue platter of sorts, right? I think you're going to choose your meats ultimately and kind of just pick what you want here. Again, now we're kind of shifting a little bit from that Pan-Asian style. So my guess is this might be somewhere else and it might not be there at the Blue Dragon. So I don't really know. But based on the fact that the cuisine doesn't totally match up, my guess is this is going to be somewhere else inside of the area. But I love good barbecue, and if it is good, tasty barbecue, you'll find me there probably pretty early, I'm not gonna lie to you. And then to just continue to throw weirdness here, we've got a trip to Vesuvio is what it says here. Looks like some sort of pizza dish of sorts. Definitely a lot of flavors on there. So again, kind of hard to hone in what exactly the cuisine is going to be here inside of Celestial Park. Looks like we're gonna have a few different fun options for us here to try. And I am looking forward to kind of the weird just changes that you might get from restaurant to restaurant or booth to booth here. And you guys know how much I love Snickerdoodle. So to see the Landlubbers Snickerdoodle loot, you can bet that'll be one of my first treats I'll be getting because I love Snickerdoodle. I'm very picky about Snickerdoodle, to be honest with you, but if this delivers, I am looking forward to it quite a bit. So yeah, definitely looking forward to it. I like the design, the way that they lay it. Again, the visuals that we're seeing in this one, I think look fantastic. Really, then what we're gonna see after that is a lot of drinks. So I'll kind of do a little rapid fire here for you guys, just so you guys can understand what's coming, at least from what we see here for Celestial Park. And the drinks do look pretty nice. Again, I'm not a huge drinker. Nicole isn't either. We do like one here and there. So I'm sure over the years, we'll be trying some of these. Let's do a rapid fire here. So we have the Grand Atlantic Martini. Again, that little fun little, maybe an orange peel off the side, a Waturi Punch. I feel like we've kind of had something Waturi before over at Volcano Bay. We've got the Plastered Owl. I want to say Kausen Boba, maybe? I don't totally know how to pronounce that one, but we'll start with that. And then we have the Meteor Strike, which is one that I think a lot of people are looking at and thinking could be a lot of fun, just because you see that fire, whatever, that meteor being lit up, might be a fun little drink to order. Again, everybody loves playing with their food, so this is the perfect time to see it. I'm guessing we're not messing with the fire, but maybe the way they serve it, kind of like how they do the Jaws drink over there at Chez Alcatraz. Maybe it's gonna be something similar where they put on a little show for you when you do buy this one. So really looking forward to seeing these drinks. And again, eventually we'll be trying some of them for sure. Now, many of those drinks are 21 plus, so kind of keep that in mind. They are alcoholic drinks. I think the boba might have not been, if I'm not mistaken. But finally, I do want to end with Helios Grand. We now have some menu items coming up there, so definitely looking forward to trying out the Helios Hotel. Maybe we'll try the restaurant there when we have our stay. Again, I believe it is June 8th, if I'm not mistaken. It's early on in June. Like I said, it's about the second or third week that Epic is open. So we'll be over there checking that out. So if you guys are interested, make sure to subscribe to the channel because we will be covering all things Helios in time for sure. But let's take a look at some of the items here at the Helios Grand now that we are seeing some of these. So we kind of have an idea of what the menu might start to look like. And we start with a charred octopus, you know, a little bit more fancy, if you will. And I guess it kind of makes sense as, you know, it seems like a really nice hotel. So a charred octopus is probably great for the menu there. Then we have a tomato and burrata salad. Now, again, I'm not a huge salad eater. I don't eat a ton of greens. I definitely should be. I should be eating more vegetables. I love fruits, but when it comes to salad and vegetables, I'm a little bit more picky, unfortunately, and I wish I weren't. But yeah, it seems like a pretty nice option if you guys are interested. It looks beautiful, I will say that. And just like I was mentioning earlier, looks like we have some shish kebabs here. So that's kind of fun to see that we have the actual shish kebabs available here inside of the Helios Grand. So definitely going to be trying some of those out. Hopefully, I like that you get a few different options there. You got some chicken, looks like you have some shrimp and a few other things there. So yeah, I like that you also get some dipping sauces because I don't know, we all love sauces. Looks like we're getting a butterflied branzino as well, or a whole branzino that is butterflied. So more nice protein options here. And we kind of get into some stuff that is a little bit beyond me, a little too fancy it seems like. And I'm gonna try mezes or mezzes and spreads. I don't know, I'm just gonna leave it as whatever that is. And feel free to roast me in the comments. I've never even seen that word before, but whatever it is, it looks fancy. And so if you're fancy, maybe that's something you're interested in. I also don't love green olives. Black olives are fine, green, no thanks. So probably gonna pass on this dish for myself personally. But then finally, we do have the scallop crudo, I believe is how that is pronounced again. When the menu items are too fancy to pronounce, I just don't order it. That's typically how I work, because if I can't pronounce it, then it's probably just not something I'm going to enjoy. But that's just me personally. So yes, obviously the scallops are on the menu. So a lot more seafood items, again, a little bit higher end, it looks like here at the Helios Grand Hotel. Also, we have some bugs flying around out here as the sun is now set and we are reaching nighttime. Also, how'd you guys like being outside with me today? It was like, I want to be outside, but I also want to like do this video. So hopefully this was kind of a cool way to do it. But yeah, you guys have to let me know. What are you guys thinking about the food items? Is it kind of underwhelming, overwhelming, kind of what you thought it was going to be? Obviously, we're expecting to get a lot more food items in time. These are just kind of, I think, like little samplers of what is to come. So I would expect by obviously opening day that we do have the full menus for these things. But I think this is a little teaser. They were like, hey, we're 100 days out. Here's a little tease of what is to come. Again, now it's on the website. We're getting a lot more real. We just had the Super Bowl a day or two ago at this point. They were doing, obviously, advertisement for the park, so it's cool to see that Epic Universe is finally advertising on TV. I feel like it's a little late, personally, because I thought they would have been doing this a while ago, but maybe now they are, full blown going in on it. I'm seeing a lot more ads on social media as well. So I do think they are doing a full push here in this 100-day window. So expect to probably get a lot more Epic Universe and Universal Orlando ads as we are approaching the opening of Epic Universe. If you guys are not aware, by the way, Epic Universe does open May 22nd. I know many of you guys already know that, but for those of you that don't, May 22nd is opening day. And just so you are aware, early park admission will not be available on May 22nd. It will start on the 23rd from what I am hearing. So everybody, it's gonna be a free-for-all on May 22nd. I don't know how that's gonna ultimately work, people getting in the park. It is going to be a madhouse there, but it's going to be so much fun. And hopefully, again, you guys are here for it as we check out the park, try some food, ride some rides, do a little bit of everything. I am looking so forward to just being at that park and just soaking it in. We have multiple days that we will be there, so do not fret. We will have some awesome content for you guys coming up. And also, we are still waiting to see if we get some announcements on AP previews. We have kind of been hearing that previews have started or that they will be starting. So we're just kind of waiting to hear some finalization and start to get the announcements for ourselves. I don't know any of the details yet. Again, if you guys haven't yet, make sure to follow me on Instagram. It is at the Dillon Thomas. I'll give you guys all the details there. Obviously on YouTube, we'll give you all the information as well, but if you want something right in the moment, that is also a great place to do it. Now, again, I already asked you guys, but please, if you don't mind, give this video a thumbs up. It seriously helps out a ton with the channel. And I just wanna say thank you guys so much for being here. I am so excited for Epic Universe. Again, let me know in the comments, what are you guys looking forward to when it comes to the food? I am interested in hearing your thoughts, because again, we all love food. That is something that I feel like everybody can just like have a good time with. Even if you disagree with somebody on something, food always brings us together, does it not?